Oh, oopsies. Hold on one moment, please. Good morning or good evening, wherever you're at. Hey, D. Goodwin. It's good to see you. Hey, Angela. Replay. Good morning. Good morning, Willow. Hendo. Good morning. High Priestess. Nikki. Perspective Reverence. Good morning. Hope you guys are doing good. Sorry it took me a minute to come to the live stream. Get your mind out of the gutter, okay? Now, with those new diet pills I'm taking and then I'm drinking a Bang, I got a little weak, so I got me some little cuties in case I need to eat something. You got it? Hey, Leela. Good morning. I hope you guys are doing good. Okay, actually, first off, we'll start with that. Grab your caffeine, your water, your hydration. Maybe you're a morning boozer, maybe like mimosas. Maybe it's evening where you are and there's crack cocaine around the corner that you've been dying to try. Whatever it is, I am not promoting drugs. Okay? Okay? Good morning, bitch talks. Oh. Hang on. Okay, gather around. I'll be right back. No chance. No dance. No chance. No dance. No chance. Give me second chances. That's so cool! I won! Yay! Ow! Ow! My Hang on one moment. By the way, when you see my husband come in here, there's other people that come in and they don't have wrenches. There's a reason for that I don't say. Because it's a secret. And it's a secret just a test that I do, not specifically if you have a wrench missing. That's usually mostly a good thing. Christola comes in here all the time and doesn't have one, and so does my husband. And by the way, if anybody has a wrench that's not in moderator chat is back, so you're welcome in there if you want. Okay, good morning, Mel Hawks. Love you. Marie B, good morning. Good morning, Rosalang, Ashanemi. Anyways, you're the only one who says your name right. Oh, I said it right? Oh, good. No, you're not in a penalty box. Nope, I was just speaking about that. Good morning, April Showers. So anyways, first off, now my source I go to is Fox News, but you guys can go to whatever news source you want to. Morning Gulf Coast. But I saw this yesterday, and so we're going to start off with this because I would like your opinion because I got an opinion on this, okay? Now, I don't know if any of you have heard. Hit a 1 if you have heard about Leslie Van Houten within the last 24 hours. Or is it Houghton? I think it's Leslie Van Houten. Oh, welcome, Scully. Love you, Scully. Anyone? Oh, you like News Nation, High Priestess? Oh my God, was it on Fox News too? It was everywhere. Oh, no. I'm not talking about the autopsy thing yet. Someone heard about it. Yes, you're out of the loop, Gulf Coast. Well, Leslie Van Houten, she was a part of the Manson family. She did not participate in the Sharon Tate murders, but she did participate in the murder of the LaBiancas, but I don't think she killed anyone. She just Tex, the guy that was kind of like leading the murders, the aggressive one, he told her to stab an already dead person, Mrs. LaBianca, and I think she stabbed her like 12 times, but she was already deceased, I believe, right? Yeah, she did the LaBianca. But yes, after 53 years, juror. Oh, okay, she held the woman down. Okay. Well, she was 19 at the time, I believe. So after 53 years of serving a life sentence, which, by the way, pay attention to this part. Sharon Tate's sister usually is there. Like, I was just talking about this, I think, yesterday, and then I saw the news. She's usually there, like, going against, them, any of these people getting parole, which I think isn't there only one more left? I think the other one's passed away. What's her name? The scary one. The one that scares the hell out of me. What was her name? She lost her legs to cancer. She died years and years ago. So I think there's one left in Tex. Or is it Tex and her left? Anyone know? Didn't Tex confess to killing all those people? Oh, well, the one I'm speaking about. Yeah, Squeaky, but what's her... God, what's her name? Susan Atkins. She scared the hell out of me, just her eyes alone. But she was the one responsible for murdering Sharon Tate. But anyways, so Leslie Van Houten gets out on parole. And here's my opinion on it. I think think back when you were 19 years old. Now, maybe you weren't a sociopath and didn't have really fun thoughts. Maybe you were a boring kid, and just did normal stuff, like went to social gatherings and stuff like that instead of home invasions and doing heavy drugs. Okay. Yeah, she died of brain cancer, Susan Atkins. So when I was 19, I was an idiot. I am now 41 and I am still an idiot. However, I have upgraded my idiocracy. Okay. Now, add that on top of drugs and persuasive people, influence, and stuff like that. And then you get caught up in what I believe. Okay. This is only my opinion. I'm pretty sure she might have held someone down. I need to research that again because I used to be really into this case. But I think I'm not trying to lighten what she did, but I think she just stabbed an already deceased person. Okay. So add that with 53 years of growing up in prison, sobering up in prison, and she's like in her 70s now. So she doesn't have like a long life ahead of her, but in my personal opinion, I am not against it. I say, go and be free. And I hope you learned your fucking lesson. What do you guys think? Because it's not like, we do a lot of stupid shit when we're under the influence of stuff. Liz Burton says, hi from South Australia. I'm just watching your other video about this issue. You have made more sense than so many others. Much more balanced. I will watch this replay too. Thank you, Liz. I'm about to get to that in a minute because I have a point to prove with that. Just if you're willing to listen. Okay. You didn't miss being a teenager? Juror agrees. I remember when all that went down. Patty says she was 5. Hybrid Pisces agrees. Yes, hit the thumbs up, folks. I love you too, D. Goodwin. Let her live her last day out of prison. Well, and look, I've said this about Chris Watts. I've said it about a lot of people, but I've got a lot of shit for saying about Chris Watts. Is that it's not like up to us to, of course, we're going to have our opinions and be judgmental, even though it's not okay to judge. We all do it. I'm doing it right now. Some of your profile pictures are fucking ridiculous. But I'm not saying a word. Okay? So sometimes it's better just to keep my mouth shut. Oh, you always liked Leslie Van Houten? That's interesting. Yeah, she seems, listen, when you see people that you love or your own self coming down off of especially heavy drugs, your outlook is going to change big time. So add that on top of so many years of being in a place that is there to teach you your lesson. I think you're going to be okay. Now, it's the outside world that I'm worried about for Leslie Van Houten, to be honest. because there's a lot of people probably out for blood. And then there's probably a lot of Manson followers as well that really just want to get to know her, sit her down, have tea, teach them how to do home invasions, that kind of stuff. Love you, D-Rod. The high priestess says, all those years, I'd rather stay in prison. Well, they were saying she's going to have to get used to technology, paying stuff without cash, and learn how to use the internet and all sorts of stuff. But Fox News was saying Van Houten will have a 3-year maximum parole term with a parole discharge review occurring after 1 year. Says she was 19 when she joined the Manson family, and she helped kill Leno LaBianca and his wife Rosemary in 1969. So more than 50 years after the Manson cult committed these murders, victims' families still feel the impact. Yeah, and you know what? I mean, the victims' families' opinions have probably changed as well. They might have gotten worse, they might have gotten better, but I think what's important is, did she change? That's what I mean, obviously, it's good to care about the families, but did she change? Because she's going to be free among all of us. So don't forget to lock your fucking doors. Okay, that's all you got to do. The world is different. She won't even know how to use a phone. Taking a bus without Metro cards or coins. Hell, I don't even know if she's ever rode a bus. I mean, maybe when she was on a drug binge, she thought she was on a bus, but really she was in the LaBianca's house. The only murderer I don't think should ever be released, Jilly Bear says, is Diane Dawes. She remains not the least repentant or sorry for her murders, even on very recent letters and interviews. Hey, at least she's upfront about it. Be like, okay, coming in loud and clear. Hey, Jerry D. Janessa P says, I did both my college thesis on Manson, one on him and one comparing his awful childhood to Ozzy Osbourne's rough childhood and how one went bad and the other went good. That would be really interesting to listen to, actually. You should email me sometime or come up and talk about it. That's interesting. Liz Burton says, that was my thought, Robbie. How many were... I think she's still on the other video. She killed her kids. She's disgusting. Is that the one that, what's her name, did the made-for-TV movie? Is that where she shot her kids while Hungry Like a Wolf was playing, or is that somebody else? That's why I can't listen to that song. Hey, Siri, turn off all of my alarms. Hey, Siri, turn off all of my alarms.
I turned off all your alarms.
Thank you. Thanks. I will. It was so interesting and actually didn't mind writing it at all. Yeah, don't you love that? She shot her children even at point and escaped from prison, but was caught fairly quick. Yeah, I can't listen to Hungry Like a Wolf if that's the one. Is that the one? Oh, okay, that is her. Yeah, and who was the one? Not Faye Dunaway. She was in Charlie's Angels a long time ago. She played her in the made-for-TV movie. Do you think she can get paid for interviews now? Fuck yes. I mean, she's going to have to look for a job, High Priestess. So I think Leslie Van Houten, I mean, sorry to say it, but I would eat that up. I would do books. I would do interviews. I would do movies. I would do a reality show. You know what? It would actually be very smart if Leslie Van Houten does a reality show, because then you know for sure she's going to have security around her. So you have cameras rolling all the time, so you know no one's going to home invade your ass. And you just always have people around. That way nobody, because you have revenge murderers. Family, friends who are out for revenge. You have copycat killers. There's all sorts of psycho people out there that'll reenact. And I mean, there's always a reason to murder these days. It's ridiculous. Oh, okay, replay. Oh, it's okay, Megan. So anyways, Juror says she's a psychopath, in my opinion, and Teen Mom's Janelle looks like her. Oh, you're talking about the Hungry Like a Wolf chick? She can live free like anyone else now, including being paid for interviews, unless something is done under some permanent gag order or something, which I doubt. in my opinion, look how many people have made movies based on horrible stuff. Talking about the Titanic yesterday. So many people have made movies off the Manson murders. And Hilary Duff, I didn't even watch it, but she did a horror movie, which isn't even based on a true story, I don't think. It's just a horror movie about Sharon Tate. She plays Sharon Tate having dreams about being murdered. It's like weird. Do you guys see the trailer for that? So many other people have made money off of it. Why not Leslie Van Houten, especially if she's changed? Hey, little Miss Purple. You would so love to do a reality show. Yeah, because now I'm comfortable kind of pooping. No, I'm not comfortable pooping around people. I don't think you can profit off murder if you're the killer, but maybe it varies state to state. Well, I think it would be interesting to see her actually speak about how she's changed. And I think it would be motivating to a lot of people, especially people that have been on drugs. And it has changed their mind in directions that have been insane. So I think Leslie Van Houten, you may disagree, but I don't really mind because everyone's opinion's welcome. But good for her. And I hope she changed, and I hope she benefits from the change, and I hope she sets an example. And I actually look up to her. Just kidding. No. Well, yeah. If she's changed, I sure do. Hey, Tiffany. Hey, Peach. Bitch Talk says, and I think she's talking about the Hungry Like a Wolf mom. She's probably institutionalized and will commit another crime to go back and feeling lost on the outside. Oh, you're talking about, Leslie Van Houten. Leslie was actually out in 78 for about 6 months, had a job. Really? What happened with that? Did people petition and she got sent back, or what happened with that? And were there any unsolved murders in 1978 that we need to look into now and possibly see if it was her? Let the deceased rest, let their families rest. I'm getting to that, Mary. Same, Robbie. I hope she spends the rest of her life peacefully. Yeah, because, I mean, people like that really can teach people that, and I've said this before, and this is why people call me a sympathizer and blah, blah, blah. It's not up to us to force people to change or to condemn them to hell. And that's what I was saying about Chris Watts and everyone. As long as you're living and breathing and you have another breath of air in your lungs, you have opportunity to do whatever and to make whatever path and change. So everybody, whether you're sitting in a prison cell or if you're out there listening to this right now and you're actually a sociopathic killer and you just haven't been caught or come out yet, please consider going in an opposite direction with your life, because you do have an opportunity to change, just like Chris Watts has an opportunity to sit there and think about his actions and change, or anybody else. Anybody. And people say, no, you're going to hell, you deserve to burn. Well, listen, it would make me, if I was I'm just going to put myself in the shoes of a sociopathic killer real quick. Okay. Let me go get my sandals. I'm just kidding. So if you're sitting there and you have committed a crime, let's say whatever it is, not even murder, whatever it is, and you're sitting in prison, so you're already being punished, and you might be angry that you got caught and frustrated, but you also have the outside world teasing you and taunting you and throwing it in your face for the rest of your life. And let's say you really want to change, but the outside world is making you so angry, and you're like, fuck it. These people are pissing me off. They're not allowing me to change. Fuck them. If I ever get out of here, I'm going on a murdering spree again. So I don't think hate really helps. I mean, look at when we're mad on here in life. When somebody's insulting you and you're already angry, are you going to get more peaceful, or are you going to get more crazy? I get more crazy. Hey, Jessica. Liz's cousin spent over half his life in jail. White collar crime, now owns her own business and turned her life right around. My husband was in prison, turned his life completely around. He spoke about that many times. And he's amazing. And I look up to him. Love you, Nitra. Janessa says, I may not always agree with you, Robbie, but I always love how open your mind is, how you're always open to hear all sides, and how you're always open to second chances. not only second chances, but third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. But what I'm learning to do in my life right now is forgive people, but not insert myself or get in the way of what they've done to me before, or vice versa. And to be like, okay, I forgive, but we don't need to be a part of each other's life because I'm protecting myself. Okay. And it feels really good to forgive. Little Miss Purple gets more crazy. Yeah. So if somebody's encouraging you and saying, look, you've done terrible things, let's change. Hi, GT. Let's change. Put your life in a new direction. Do good stuff. That's going to motivate you more than someone's like, it doesn't matter if you change your life or anything, and it doesn't matter what you do here, even though you're on the right track and you've changed your thoughts, you're going to burn in hell forever. If somebody told me that and I believed it, I'd be like, well, fuck, if I'm burning in hell, fuck it. Fuck it. Let me out of here. Welcome, Liz. Don't forget boundaries. Exactly, Jessica. Oh, I was like, is that the Jessica that I think it is? No. You're not Jessica from, like, Cody, right? When you don't forgive, holding resentment is slowly poisoning you. Yeah, and that puts you in a personal hell. Peach says it depends. I think it does depend on how long it takes to heal if you've done bad stuff. I think I agree with that, but I think it depends, like, if you've like committed really bad crimes or murders, that's probably going to take a long time for your brain to heal if you ever heal from those evil thoughts in your head. That's why prayer is powerful. And I know that firsthand. Because I've had some crazy thoughts in my head that I've had to pray away and be like, dear Lord Jesus, please don't let me slap this bitch upside her fucking head. God, please, I don't want to do that. That's so bad. I don't want to be judged. Welcome, Jer. So I just think that, and I also believe, and I've been criticized for saying this in the past, but I believe certain people that have done really horrible stuff that people disagree with have certain addictions in their head and certain evil thoughts that are in their head. That's from the devil. That's from the devil. So people may say they're evil and they're this. Well, I think it's just Satan. I think it is Satan. Okay. You're hooked even though you're new tonight. I will probably be more of a replay crew. Thanks, Liz. A lot of us get intrusive thoughts. You know, that's why it's best when I shut my mouth, because sometimes those thoughts fly out of my mouth and I get in trouble. That's why when I'm angry now, I try to go ghost and silent on people because my mouth will hurt your feelings. And I already know that. Amen, Willow. It's only God's place to judge, and we just have opinions. Yeah, and you don't know. Like, it drives me nuts, especially because I'm close to Christ, but you guys mostly know my opinions, like on the Bible and stuff. I go based off my relationship with God, and it drives me nuts when people say, that person, there is no forgiveness for them. They're going to burn. It's like, who the hell are you? Are you operating the gates of hell, bitch? Or the gates of heaven? I don't fucking think so. And if I see your ass when I pass away and I walk up to those pearly gates, I'm going to say, you better get your fucking ass out of my way. Now, bitch. Because I heard what you had to say on YouTube and I don't agree with shit. So get out of here. Go to hell. Jura says she's felt hate and rage against people on here. I know it's not normal and try to take a break. That's why you have to take a break. That's why you have to take a break. Because otherwise, I mean, look, people clip us and play us nonstop. And that's another thing that, I mean, look at what they do. They'll probably do to Leslie Van Houten the rest of her life is replay what she did, even though I haven't seen her life every day. She's probably really changed. That's probably why she got granted parole. But people aren't going to allow that. People want to be stuck in 1969, not 2023. People want to be stuck in the 19-year-old drug user, crazy person she was back then and never allow her to change, just like they do to Tiffany, just like they do Jur, just like they do, who else have I seen videos of in here? Bitch Talks, just like they do Replay, Nikki Rev. You've been involved in some drama just in your own life that you've come on here, Little Miss Purple, just like they do to everyone. And even though you've changed, it's a really shitty feeling to come on YouTube and be like, okay, fresh start, and then see people replaying videos of you of things you've said 2 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe it was 2 months ago. And you know personally you've changed and they don't allow that. Is that going to motivate you? I mean, yeah, you're going to want to keep doing what you want to do, but I mean, change is beneficial to yourself. And if people don't allow that, it's hard to continue forward. Hey, Craftastic. Hey, Roman. Don't cast stones if you live in glass houses. And bitch, don't cast stones if you don't want one thrown back at you. To me. Hey, Roman. Hope you're doing good. It's easier to judge others than deflect on your own problems. Or it just makes people feel good, period. I don't know. Oh, GT says she got her education in prison. I'm sure she's probably going to write a book, and I will be reading that book if she does. If nothing changes, nothing changes. Speaking of change, should we forgive Zav since this was a huge mistake, I'm sure, on her part? Okay, so getting into that part, to answer your question, High Priestess. Well, first of all, before I get into that, does anybody have Peacock in here? I don't know if they have it around the world. Peacock, or I mean Netflix, maybe. But hold on, I need to pull something up real fast relating to this subject. Okay, so give me just a minute. Hold on. Here we go. You have Peacock, Beck Del Real? Just curious what everyone thinks since we've all been judged. Zav Natasha story has gone viral. WFLA and Denver News is covering it. You have both? Okay, Megan. Okay, Netflix. You have Now TV. Okay, well, has anybody seen... I don't know if it's just on Peacock, but hold on, I need to see the ages so I don't get this wrong. Oh, perfect. Here we go. Okay. So there is a... oh, you have Peacock? Okay. So there's a documentary out, which is really good. It's like season 1, and it is called... who's followed the Zodiac Killer on here? The story of the Zodiac Killer. Hit a 3 if you have. Because I never, until last night, watched, and this has to do with the Zav Girl Natasha thing. Peacock Zodiac Killer. Oh, okay. Pretty interesting, right? Do you guys actually think there's a Zodiac Killer, or do you think those letters that the Zodiac Killer was sending was to deflect from people taking accountability for their actions of murder? You just canceled your Netflix? Okay, so there is a series on there called The Myth of the Zodiac Killer. And it's really interesting. It talks about... it's just really good, like conspiracies around it, and basically debating if there's an actual Zodiac killer or not. And Megan, I kind of agree with that there's a copycat killer, but also how easy would it be back in the day? Because this happened kind of around the same time as the Manson murders as well. I think the same year, 1969, right? And I mean, it could be a copycat killer, or it could be somebody... Here's kind of what I think, and then I'll get to my point of what this has to do with Zav Girl and them. But I think maybe a murder happened, And then somebody sent in a letter. After watching this, this is what I think. Somebody sent in letters claiming that they were a murderer, you know, and whatever, and making threats for other murders to deflect from like their accountability for what they did. And then I think somebody else saw that and was like, oh, fuck, I want to kill these people. I'll just say I'm the Zodiac killer because that's already out there and it's getting more and more popular. And I think it was kind of like a chain reaction because in this series, it gets into a person at the news station, which there's conspiracy that he kept these letters going to himself. And then it specifically only went to one news station that the Zodiac killer was communicating with. And it gave them clout. And he was kind of like a Gale Weathers, which I've always thought Gale Weathers was involved with the murders in Scream because it's clout. I mean, who wouldn't, right? I could see somebody doing that on YouTube being like, oh my God, I got letters from the Zodiac killer. Give me a fucking break. Karen says, what bothers me about Duty, Ron, Glare, and other people criticizing Zabgirl and Natasha having a $3 Patreon paywall, they have made hundreds and hundreds of dollars on Gannon's name themselves. Anybody in true crime who makes money, I think this is just like a battle of the... Because I was watching a little bit of the Glare yesterday, and I've had my own interactions with him. And in my personal opinion, the Glare has always used people to get to the top. And he used to beg to come on my panel all the time and completely change the subject, run his mouth, and then his channel grew, and he just kind of like... The Glare is about clout. That's just my experience with him. That's how he's always been. And these people will disguise themselves as people who care about victims. We care because that's going to get you a lot of people supporting you. Oh my God, you're a caring person. Instead of just being a blunt fucking person and not being afraid to possibly offend people once in a while, these people are people pleasers. They always have to please and be on the good, right side of things instead of like standing up for what they believe in, even if it may be controversial. So with that being said, about this television series that's on Peacock, Michael, my husband, and I, we get about probably not even 5 minutes into the TV show. I never saw a warning. I don't even think I saw a rating, which I'm sure there is, or maybe there's a description saying, you know, this content has this and that. Without warning. They just throw pictures right in my face on the screen that I did not want to see. That's why I asked you, any of you pay for Peacock? So hit a 1 if you pay for Peacock specifically. I want to see. Yeah, they're all profiting, or else they wouldn't fucking monetize their videos. Listen, if you have a problem with Natasha Cooper and them making money off of this, Mommy Ramblings, The Glare, all of you guys, if you have a problem with that, then while you're talking about this subject or any subject that kind of involves this in the future, can you please turn off your super chats and don't put your donation links or any of that in the chat? That would be great. That way you don't look like a hypocrite. Okay? You never heard of it, Little Miss Purple? I think it's just in the States. But Peacock is the channel, the television channel that this series is on. So that would be just like being a Patreon. If you are paying for Peacock right now, whether you know it or not, whether you've seen this series, I just want to let you know that in this series, the first murders of David Arthur Faraday, who was 17 years old, and Betty Lou Jensen, who was 16 years old, and they were both shot on July 4th, 1969 in a parking lot of Blue Rock Springs Park in Vallejo, Mangaya, survived the attack. No. Sorry. This one was, they were killed on December 20th. I was reading the second murders, 1968 on Lake Herman Road. And guess what? As I'm watching on Peacock, without warning, they put their dead bodies right in my face. Shot in the head, blood pouring out of their body. And they were 16 and 17 years old. So if you're paying for Peacock, folks, that's what's on there. No warning at all. And I'm sure the people who made that documentary are making money off of it. Very good documentary. I highly recommend it. But Mommy Ramblings, do you have Peacock? The Glare, do you have Peacock? You do true crime. You talk about dead, famous people mostly only. I never hear these people talking about new Amber Alerts that are going out that really need, like Locumi Life does. The Locumi Life talks about Amber Alerts all the time. New ones that these people are not found yet. Now, what I see, and this is why I don't do true crime anymore. First of all, it's a lot of fucking work and I don't have time for it. I'd rather listen and watch. But everybody, when they're talking about something, they say, we truly care about victims and their families. Really? Because every case that these people talk about is a popular, famous case where the people have been found dead. And they talk about it almost every fucking day. They've already found the killers for the most part in a lot of these. There's conspiracies around it. So who the fuck are they helping? They're helping their channels because they're talking about a clout case of a famous dead person. So to the people that say you truly care about families, why aren't you helping the people of families that are not popular, that have Amber Alerts out there, that need help and need their family member or friend to be found? If you care about family members. Oh no, we only care about the popular ones to defend them so that they can look over at us like we're a hero. That's my personal opinion. Do I want to see a dead body? No. Did I want to see that on Peacock yesterday? No. I would have been perfectly fine watching that documentary on the Zodiac Killer and not seeing any of the crime scene pictures or anything. But some people are into that. It didn't warn me. I'm not calling NBC, who owns Peacock, and complaining about it. I'm not canceling my subscription. It just showed up in my face. And people say, you know, well, Gannon was 11 years old. Well, Betty Lou Jensen, who they showed dead on the screen on this documentary, was 16 years old. Still a child. And I'm not saying that I want to see that. Sassy Chick says, I mean, it's their channel. They can talk about whatever because they want. It's, who are you talking about, Sassy Chick? Because if you're talking about true crime victims, especially popular ones, and you are attacking somebody who you already had a problem with to begin with, and you're judging them for showing pictures maybe you didn't agree with, but you're supporting these documentaries who show autopsies, who show crime scene photos all the time, and you're making money off of any of these cases, Gannon, Summer Wells, any of these, and you're complaining and you're criticizing somebody else, in my personal opinion, that makes you a hypocrite. And as these people, the Glare, Mommy Ramblings, I'm sure their super chats were on. I didn't fucking see, but their channels are monetized. They're making money off of this. And they're putting Gannon's name, Mommy Ramblings put Gannon's name in every single title. And finally, she put Natasha's name in one of her titles. But she's been talking about Natasha and Zavgirl. But she used, in my personal opinion, used Gannon's name just to get people to go over there and watch it. I ain't putting his fucking name in these videos because I'm not going to do that. To me, that's gross. So I don't think this is about defending what's moral and right. I think this is about how many people can they get over to see them as a hero, in my opinion. Especially my experience with people like the Glare and Mommy Ramblings. They're not the best people behind the scenes. That's all I'm going to fucking say. Now I'm going to eat a cutie. John Benet Ramsey's autopsy pictures are all over the internet. You just have to Google it. Yeah, and you know what? And to people that can stomach that, sure. And yesterday, I didn't fucking ask to see those pictures of all the dead bodies, and they showed all the crime scene photos throughout that Zodiac Killer documentary. Just they didn't warn. Just they're talking, and all of a sudden, these gory pictures are popping up on the screen. So exactly, Karen. They've already had a problem with Natasha before. This is a way for them to get more attention, but look like the good person at the same time. And Mommy Ramblings, you play dirty. Like, I was listening to a part of what she said yesterday. She started talking about one of Natasha's followers, and she started talking about her real life. She's like, what about your kid? Do your I think do her stepdad and mom or whatever? She was digs into people. What do they know you're doing this on here? It's like, why the fuck do you have to look into people's lives detailed like that just because you disagree with them? High Priestess says, I'm sure with the Watts case, if they showed the autopsy photos of the girls, that would have been up too. Yeah, and I would not listen. I don't want to see stuff like that. But I do understand, just like watching that documentary yesterday, I'm watching a documentary of a true crime case. And they're going to probably show me some stuff on here that's going to be uncomfortable to see. That's it. Lilith Calm says, a new documentary on Hulu about Jonestown, hundreds of crime scene photos and autopsies of people dying. Sassy Chick says, I'm just going to say, why can't people just respect what Gannon's parents want? I feel you are just biased because you don't look like MRB and you don't like MRB and you support Natasha. How many times have Natasha and I fought? It is not because of that. I would be saying the same thing. And it's not that I don't like MRB. She doesn't like me based on rumors and attacked me based on rumors, and she got barked back at. I didn't like Natasha. Her and I fight back and forth all the time. So are you saying, Sassy Chick, can you go find out if MRB has Peacock or not? Because she has a problem with people paying to be in Natasha's Patreon while there's hundreds of documentaries probably with plenty of crime scene photos and stuff. And do you think they ask for permission from every single person to put those up? I doubt it. Yeah, Natasha and I bicker like brother and sister. You keep bringing up MRB. What about thousands that are covering it? I mean, it's all in the news. So many people disagree. Well, probably Sassy Chick, because MRB is very aggressive about it. And she already had hatred towards Natasha. And she's very angry. And she'll find any reason to attack her. I think you already know that. Glare said last night that he will make sure Natasha's Patreon will be suspended. People called into his live last night and told him her Patreon is still up. Who does the Glare think he is? Well, I mean, if any of you are covering true crime or supporting true crime documentaries, if you're supporting true crime channels, if you're listening or watching a true crime or anything, there's plenty of crime scene photos and autopsy photos out there. So I feel like the people that already did not like these people, and Zavgirl as well, are just using this as an excuse to attack them and look like a hero. That's what I think. Thank you, Deirdre. I always say that wrong. My teacher had that name in high school. Deirdre or Deidre. Did I say that right? Natasha does not even feel bad for putting the pictures up. She could care less. Do you know that, Mountain Vibes? I think what she said yesterday, if I remember correctly, she said, when you're covering true crime, you cannot let your emotions get in the way. Just like I said, Gail Weathers. That's why I can't do that. I can't do gore. My emotions will get in the way. I can't. I can watch, but that gives me the opportunity to look away if I need to. When you guys see that there's some tragedy happening around the world, maybe war is starting, maybe there's been a shooting, something crazy going on, and you have reporters that are willing to go out to the crime scenes, put their lives in danger to report the news for you, and you're sitting there paying for television to watch these people give you the news, I don't hear anybody yelling at them. Yeah, they're not showing autopsy photos, but hell, you never know what's going to happen in the background when they're live on TV. So to do certain jobs, you cannot let your emotions get in the way. So I do not think that Natasha does not feel bad about it. I think Natasha she has to put herself in a certain mindset to talk about certain things. And she actually sent me the video of, unfortunately, I clicked and I saw some things I didn't want to see, but she sent me the video just to show me, like, I wasn't being disrespectful. I wasn't saying mean stuff. We were not making fun of Gannon or anything. So in my personal opinion, I don't think she has anything to feel bad about. Yes, people are offended and they're hurt and they're like, the family can see this. But again, it's behind a paywall, or it's behind something to where you would have to pay to see it, just like you would have to pay Peacock to see what I saw yesterday. That I did not want to see, but it was an amazing documentary. Robin Swan says, I don't think Natasha and Zavgirl are evil. I think they shouldn't have done what they did when they did it, but that's just my opinion. Robin, is it true that you called the police? Someone was saying that you called Natasha's local police yesterday, or that you were saying that in a chat. Is that true? Exactly, Robbie. I never watched Zavgirl, but I saw that she has almost 100K subscribers, so she is competition to these people that are canceling her. In my opinion, that's why Merb hates Natasha. Unfortunately, I would have loved in the beginning of our misunderstanding, mine and Mommy Ramblings, if she would have spoke to me. Okay, Mountain Vibes, because her and her followers attacked me based on a rumor that I was making fun of her tragedy, and that was not true. And they did that for like over a year, nonstop, blaming me, nonstop. And finally I snapped and I insulted her tragedy. It was not right of me to do, but I was tired of being attacked and blamed for something I did not do. And she never communicated with me about it. Only attacked. She would attack, as you guys know, my sobriety journey that I shared on her. She would attack all of that and instigate and try to poke and poke and poke and poke and poke at me. Mountain Vibe says Natasha. Oh, that's the one that I just read out, right? Or did you want me to read one before that? Oh, okay. That's the one. For me, it's not an issue about money or how they make it. Well, I mean, listen, if you guys, that's why I use Peacock or this documentary of the Zodiac Killer as an example. Or if you're paying for any of these people to talk, listen, even if you're using your mouth and no visuals to speak, oh, okay, Mountain Vibes, to speak about a true crime case or the details, you may not be showing pictures, but you're still reenacting it for people. You're keeping it alive. You're keeping it going. So to me, true crime is true crime. People are going to have different styles of doing it, but the point is to talk about the death of somebody. And all of these true crime creators, I'm sure, I know a lot of them have Patreon, they have members, they're monetized, they are making money off of this. And then they're worried about, well, what's Natasha going to do with the money she made off that? What the fuck are you doing with the money you've made off your channel talking about famous dead people nonstop? What are you doing with the money? It's none of our business what you're doing, what anybody else is doing with their money. If you're making money and people are donating to you, obviously they like what you're doing. Mind your own fucking business. Someone said in her chat that the dad was looking at this legally, and her response was, good luck, he can't do nothing. Who says that? Natasha says that. I mean, listen, I'm sure at some point we've all done maybe things that have really offended people. And even though you know in your heart you weren't trying to hurt somebody, or maybe you were just trying to spread information or whatever it is, and you're being attacked for it. And then threatened legally. We need to destroy you. We need to ruin you. We need to cancel you. It's like, Jesus Christ. Like, and then you apologize. I saw Zavgirl like write a big thing, and it was very decent. She was like, I understand there's a lot of back and forth on here. I don't really know what to do. And it was like an apology. And people are like, oh, that's an apology. She's playing. You can't even apologize these days without somebody saying, oh, they're just apologizing for this. They're just doing that to look good. Well, then fuck you. That's what I say about that. If you know how many people I've apologized to and they're like, oh, he's just going to do it again. I'm like, keep it fucking up. And I am going to fucking do it again, bitch. If you ain't going to be optimistic about this, neither am I. You can fuck off. Token says nothing can be done. The court sold the data, not the creators. again, it's just, listen, I get outrage and stuff. I understand that. I get outraged about stuff too. But this, when you've already disliked somebody, which we all know, Mommy Ramblings and Natasha haven't liked each other for a long time, this is just another excuse to go at her and look like the bigger, better person. I still have my proof, Merb, of my name on your spreadsheets. Just ask for it. Yes, she has spreadsheets. She investigates people. It's just if you piss Mommy Ramblings off, she's going to go in hardcore at you and research everything about your life. I don't know if you guys know this, but Mommy Ramblings and her fucking sidekick, two-scooter chick, and like a couple other people were on her panel like a year ago or 2 years ago before I moved into this place. They looked up on, I think, Zillow or whatever, and did a tour of my home. Because everybody was like, oh, he lives in his aunt's basement. And then finally they're like, nope, it's not a basement. It's ground level. And they described everything. They did a walkthrough of my fucking home. All because they don't like me. And you want to talk about fucking invading someone's family and you don't care about the families. What about the people that are living that you're fucking going virtually through their fucking homes? And you want people and you're talking about like, oh, they care about the feelings of people. What about the feelings of my fucking safety? What about that? You don't give a shit about that, does you? Juicy. I don't know Brianna, but I think she probably should. Eventually, it's probably going to happen. Let's not talk about MRB being involved in hiring a private investigator years ago to find things on NC. I don't think she needs a private investigator. She investigates pretty damn fucking good herself. Kashmir75 says the pictures being put out on the internet without consent of the parents is for me, but that's me. We are allowed our own feelings. The pictures went too far. Absolutely, Kashmir. And you know what? You said it in a way that's not evil and angry and saying, I want you to be canceled. You're saying, I don't agree with it. Just like Scarlett came up yesterday. I don't agree with it. It's okay to have opposing opinions. But it's such a shitty thing when people don't agree with one thing you do and they want to cancel your entire fucking existence on the earth. Just like we're talking about Leslie Van Houten getting off on parole earlier in the live stream. People not giving people another chance. People not being optimistic. People can change from their decisions or mistakes. And then understanding that some people are never willing to change. Like you guys said, that psychopath saying they'd kill again if they came out. But when somebody truly is sorry or they made a mistake and then right away, a lot of people want them to realize like this was wrong. Sometimes it takes a while for us to realize we did something wrong. A lot of times I open my mouth when I'm angry and then days later I'll be like, I could have worded that differently. Hey, Michelle. I could have gone about that differently. Just listen to Merb's update from Merb video she did yesterday. She's making this about herself. She's reporting Natasha and held to the no to Brian Enton because they're attacking her. I'll tell you why she's reporting to Brian Enton, because Brian Enton has a following. That's it. And she wants to be moral police and recognized as like a hero so she can have clout. But I think anybody who has an experience with Merb knows that she is not nice. If you disagree with her, she will investigate your entire life and she will try to destroy you. I know that from experience. So, and then she wants to be moral police, but she has no boundaries. Mountain Five says NC and Merb have both attacked each other. Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that statement. They have. They have. I think a big difference is that Merb digs and tries to destroy somebody outside, like in real life. And Natasha Cooper just has a mouth on her and she can offend her. So they attack in different ways for sure. People don't need to look. It was in a private showing. Yes, Boo Boo Kitty Meow. I'm sure they had a description or a warning, I hope. I don't care. I've seen some gruesome photos throughout my life. I did listen. Yesterday I was going to the pool and stuff. So I was like listening on fast speed to what Natasha sent me. And she did say before she put up one of the photos, she said, now this is graphic. So she did say that. And the main reason Natasha sent me what she showed was to show she was not showing private parts. I guess that was in the original video from Zavgirl, is my belief. They were not attacking him. They were not making a joke out of it. It was very serious and educational. I had to fast forward through a lot of it though, because I don't want to see dead bodies. Thank you, Mountain Vibes. Just another troll says, wait. So NC is saying she's going to deep dive Jimmy and his past employment and crimes is okay. Just say you're biased. No, I didn't say that's okay. And I haven't listened. I don't watch Natasha all the time, so I didn't hear her say that. But no, I don't think that's okay. Neither one is. But when it goes back and forth and people are like, I know from experience with the world and being on YouTube, when you're like, well, I'm going to do this to you and I'm going to do this to you and go back and forth. It's like, okay, that's why what recently happened to me, I was like, you guys win. I'm not going to do the back and forth, especially when it comes to doxing. And I'm not going to want to get the upper hand. You just win. Because the more you piss each other off and do that, it's going to instigate people to want to go back and forth. I think a lot of people's issue with NC is the endless fundraising, and then there's zero proof of what she fundraised from a lot of comments I have seen. And I can understand that statement. Just from doing my own fundraisers on here in the past, I've done an attorney one. We did one for our wedding. We've done a couple of them. And then, you want to be able to hold on to receipts and make sure that you're able to provide what you've made money on. Now, in my opinion, if Natasha's followers who are giving her money are not requesting for receipts on that and they just trust her and then I don't think, she doesn't need to show it. But if they're requesting it like, hey, I donated to you, then sure, show it to them. Just keep receipts is all I have to say. Because maybe we haven't seen them, but we don't know for sure if she's used it for whatever. And, that's up to her and the people that are donating to her. We choose to give to her just like I choose to become. Exactly, Megan. And thank you. But yeah, if you're choosing to give money to people, just like if you give money to a homeless person or whatever, you're hoping that it's going to benefit them. That's the reason you're doing it. But hell, they may go buy a bottle of fucking vodka. And if that's what helps them sleep at night in the cold or the heat, and that's what's going to make them feel comfortable, then fucking buy a bottle of vodka. Fuck it. What the fuck? If you ask for proof, I think NC would bury you, or maybe she'd just show you proof. Have you ever asked for proof? Thank you, Laramie. I try to be when I'm not angry. NC's ability to make any money off of YouTube was taken away. The only difference is she has to ask when others generate money. Here's my opinion on when people remind you and say, hey, my PayPal is pinned, or I have a fundraiser, or maybe they do lose monetization or whatever and ask for money in different forums. Everybody who is monetized, if you have started a PayPal account and put the link anywhere, even without asking, if you've started a Cash App, that's already asking for money without asking for money. So if you're reminding people, you're just reminding people that it's there. But to all these people who have memberships on their channel, they have ads on their videos, they have fundraisers or anything like that, whether they're mentioning it out loud or not, it's the same thing as what Natasha does or anybody else, or even what Lycan does, anybody. If you have a PayPal link, you are silently asking for money without asking for money. So why not remind people? And then they get in, oh my God, they're terrible because they're advertising their channel. You know what? Hold on. I'm going to mute in case you don't like chewing sounds. Like when I post something on Facebook or when I see the like button, even whether it's my post or somebody else's, I always hit the like. And one time I was sharing my screen and someone's like, you liked your own video? Yeah, I fucking did. Or when you share your own video, or people will say, if you share because I always share my YouTube out on Twitter and anywhere else. Oh my God, look at him. He's desperate for followers. Hello, when you have your own channel, you're your own public relations representative. It is up to you to advertise. It is up to you to make merch to advertise your channel. It is up to you to share your channel out and saying, hey, hit the like button, share my channel out, subscribe. And people will be like, oh my God, look at them. They're desperate. No, they're just self-promoters because they don't have a fucking manager or an agent. They are their fucking selves. So if they're reminding you to support my PayPal or moderators, can you drop this? Hello? That's what moderators do. Well, I'm a lazy moderator, but moderators do that all the time. So who fucking cares if you're a self-promoter? That's how you build a fucking, basically it's your own business here on YouTube. You are building your own persona and business and channels. So it's up to you to advertise for yourself. It's up to you to decide if you're going to put money into your channel, purchase things you need for videos. If you're going to do giveaways, invest money into new cameras, microphones, whatever it is. So if you ask for fucking money or ask people to donate to you, you're not going to get it if you don't ask. You don't get things unless you fucking ask for them. That is the truth. So if you want to start a booze fund, a fundraiser for fucking whatever the hell you want to do to get a tit job or whatever, if I got the funds and I want to give it to you, and whether you put it towards your tits or the fucking bottle, I don't care either way. Just take the money and I hope you're fucking happy. And I'm not going to ask for a receipt for your tits, because the receipt's already on your chest when I'm like, oh my God, I paid for her to get a boob job and she's still flat. What gives? Jesus Christ. It's a job when everyone does it. Yes. And you know what? Some people take this more seriously than others when it comes to being a job. To me, it's a hobby and it's fun. And you know, and that's why I do with my recent fight with Lycan, I think maybe what offended him so bad was when I was like, you're fucking fired. I'm sure. And you know what, Lycan, if you're listening, I am sorry for that. I will say that, because to you, this is a job. And I was being a dick when I was angry, and that probably did not feel good. And so when you did in return what you did to me that had to do with my job, I can understand that anger. And that's why I was like, I don't even want to go back and forth anymore. It's just, I'm done. So we got to be careful what we say when we're angry, because there are some people on here who this is their income, whether it's a lot or a little bit. And who are we to be like, we're taking that away from you because you have a different opinion. Oh, you got your Save Robbie shirt? Did it take forever? Sometimes spring takes a long time. Mel. Scarlett just got her merch too. Laramie says, so if I don't agree with NC, I can't watch Robbie. No, not at all. That's just like yesterday, I called in on Natasha's panel to give my opinion. And somebody in the chat said, well, did you know that your friend Tiffany and Replay Rants, they were talking horrible about Natasha? What do you have to say about that? And I was like, I don't. And even Natasha agreed. She's like, why should he have to respond to that? Because Replay Rants and Tiffany, we've had our issues and we've worked them out and it feels good. And I really adore both of them now. So I'm not going to start a fight with them because they have opposing opinions about Natasha. And Natasha, whether she understands it or not, we would probably bicker like brother and sister if we did disagree and get over it eventually. She didn't give a fuck. So it's not up to anyone else. I think people need to be more comfortable having different opinions, no matter how bad or good they are, or no matter how far people go to certain people, you know, showing certain pictures or whatever. Yeah, we're going to disagree. And some people are going to do some things where we're like, damn, dude, you're fucking disgusting. But at the same time, are you going to condemn them to hell? Do they belong in prison? They deserve to have their income gone. They deserve to lose their home. They deserve to be canceled and on the street as a homeless person. Like, what is the mission for people when they get so angry? What would you do if think about the person that you dislike. I don't want to use the word hate because I hate that word. Get it? I hate it. Fucking hate it. What would you do? All of you think about one person, and I'm sure it comes to mind immediately because you just can't stand them. that you cannot stand in your life. Absolutely, maybe you even hate them. One person, and maybe whatever it is, they did something to you to make you not like them. So bad. They're like the worst person ever, and you have daydreams of bad things happening to them, and don't you dare deny that you do, because you fucking do. You just don't say them out loud because you're a silent sociopath. You probably have dreams of mowing them down, or them getting hit by a bus and you eating popcorn and sitting at their fucking funeral behind a tree laughing with binoculars. Maybe you have visions of choking them out. You have some sick visions of this person and do not deny it. Now imagine one day if you turned on the news and they were brutally murdered. Or imagine if you were walking downtown and you saw that they were homeless and they were like on their last breath, bones, skeleton, they haven't ate in a long time. Is that what you want for them? You want them completely canceled? Because when we cancel people, not only do we cancel them, but we can really destroy their lives. So do we want to see them completely destroyed, ruined, dead, homeless, no food, struggling, uncomfortable, can't sleep at night because maybe they live in a cold area and they're outside in below zero temperatures, fucking homeless? Does that make you feel good? Because if it makes you feel good, then you're the bad person. Do I have daydreams of it and sometimes smile and be like, bitch? But if it actually happened, I would really feel bad. The hate on YouTube is out of control. I completely agree, Karen. When you play around and pick up the knife, you make me laugh. That's why I always want to make sure people know I'm joking. Morning, Robbie. Hope you and you too, Ryan Olson. I hope you're doing good. Hey, Amber. Hello. I don't ever let myself get that angry. Kashmir says, if someone can make me that angry, I do not need them in my life. Ooh, see, you know how to set boundaries to protect yourself from crossing boundaries. So, I mean, what is it? When we insult people, it just goes back and forth, and we always want to get the upper hand. And like in my life at 41 years old, I'm just now still learning to be like, I need to feel comfortable letting the other person have the last word, no matter how much it hurts and how much I want to respond and get back at them. Sorry, I have a piece of orange stuck in my tooth. Don't do this at home. So we have to be comfortable with other opinions. Yeah, just block them, Michelle. Opposing opinions, or just people having the last word and just being like, okay, you go ahead. You hurt my feelings. Boo-hoo, I'm hurt, I'm sad. Maybe cry it out, maybe go punch a tree or whatever. And yeah, and and that didn't mean it was a competition to me, but I mean, like in Amy and Amber were people I did care about. And so I didn't want to go that low. And I didn't want it to, because it could have got worse. What if I would have done worse than them? It would have just somebody would have gotten hurt. Donna E says, don't take away our freedoms. Stop. Just because people are loud doesn't make you right. FOIA for a reason. No one can make Token angry. I can only allow myself to become angry. I own my feelings. Ooh, I wish I was more like that. I try to own my feelings, but I blame it on being a Gemini. Because when I get mad, my mouth is out of control. YouTube competition is outrageous. Yeah, and pay attention. When people are outraged about stuff and, oh my God, they're so terrible, blah, blah. It's like, I think it's to paint an image, because and to talk about the glare just real quick, my own experience being his past friend, he said something yesterday when I was listening to him. He was like, I care for victims, or he said something like that. It's like, if you have to say that with your mouth, like, I already know how he is and I have my own opinions. I don't think he's for victims. I think he's for clout. But he's good looking. He pumps at the gym. He puts his tight shirts on. He has a lot of women that he interacts with. And women like good guys. So why not put on a show and get those women? That's my opinion. That's all I'll say about that. And why not use unpopular cases to talk about rather than popular ones? Oh, because popular ones will get you more women in your chat. Or men, whatever. YouTube is a strange place. I've never seen so many people who say they dislike someone, yet they can't stop watching their every move. It's like watching a TV show that you hate. Exactly, Delilah. And that's just like yesterday. I didn't want to, when I was watching the Zodiac Killer documentary, I didn't want to see those crime scene photos of dead bodies. I had the choice, like, okay, obviously they're going to show more things on this. But I chose to keep watching, but I could have turned it off. I didn't sit there and complain and be like, oh my God, this is terrible. I don't want to watch this and I'm calling the station. No, just fucking turn it off. No, I kept fucking watching because I was intrigued. Cassandra says, if I break the law while on the job, I lose my job as I should. Hey, Van. Well, I think if you break the law anytime, the law is there for a reason, whether we're at work or not, you know. You talk about the popular case to lure the people in so they will pay attention to the non-popular ones. That's what a logical person would do, Robin. But I think, I mean, let's call a spade a spade. Oh, shit, hold on. Brooklyn wanted out in the sun on the balcony. Hold on. Brooklyn? She's had enough sunshine. But I think people, I mean, they just, like I said, if you cared about missing people or non-popular cases, you would talk about those or post every day like Lokamai does, new Amber Alerts. She gives updates on missing people that nobody's talking about on the news. So it's fucked up. If your intention is to use big cases to lure people in so that they pay attention to the small cases, then I support that. I think that's a beautiful thing. But unfortunately, that's not what we're seeing on YouTube. On a lot of shit. It's more about, listen, people will sit there and talk about the same case every single day for 5 to 8 hours per day. No new updates on stories, no new nothing. They just repeat the same stuff every day because they know it's getting attention. Why don't you use that time to talk about the less popular cases? And you're probably sitting there saying, well, why don't you do that? Because I'm not fucking True Crime Channel. That's fucking why. Everyone jumping on the wagon to drag NC and Zab Girl just like they do popular cases. Everyone is trying to be someone. It's ugly. Yeah. And I mean, if you're talking about true crime, you're using it in some way, shape, or form to benefit you, your channel, or whatever it is. It doesn't matter if you're showing really, really detailed pictures of crime scenes and stuff that people don't want to see. You're still using the case. So just because somebody else is doing it a different style or maybe a lot more intense than you are, you're all fucking doing it. So you can't criticize somebody else for doing the same thing. And especially Mommy Ramblings, when you're responding to Natasha and Zab Girl, but the first 3 videos, you did not put their name in the videos. You put the name of the 11-year-old child, the victim, the dead child. You put his name in your title. In my opinion, you used his name to attack Zab Girl and Natasha Cooper. You could have simply responded to Natasha and Zab Girl by putting their name. People would have got the point. You didn't need to use his fucking name, but you did. So there's that. Exactly, Michelle. And then Mommy Rambling's recent video, she put Natasha, Zab Girl, and the dead kid's name in there. We already know what Zab Girl and Natasha were talking about. No need to use his name any further. Okay. Okay. And I'm vaping non-nicotine, by the way, but I'm doing it off screen. So anyways, that's my rant. Sunshine Country Chicken says, how many times has MRB done that over and over. I can't even count. Well, everybody, especially, and that's another reason I don't like. I like to do the paranormal side of anything, really, but we did it a lot with true crime. I did it with Mexi a lot, and that's I like doing that, but I don't like to do true crime myself anymore at all, really, unless it has to do with paranormal, because it creates a lot of controversy, and there is a factor in there that you cannot let your emotions get in the way, and I do. So I'm not cut out for it. But there are some people that are cut out for it, and they are you're vaping too, and they don't allow their emotions to get in the way, and they look like assholes doing that to some people. But you have to have the ability, just like if you're going to be in the army or you're going to be a coroner, you're going to have to be able to be comfortable with dead bodies. If you're somebody who a mortician, you're going to have to feel comfortable not only with gore and dealing with dead bodies and doing their makeup and stuff, but you're also going to have to get over your fear of probably ghosts. I know that sounds silly, but if I was a mortician and I was alone working on a body, I would be scared because I'm a fucking chicken. It would just be weird. I'd be like, oh my God, this is creepy. That alone, I wouldn't be able to do the job. But there's some people who don't get creeped out. They are able to get on ground zero and go to war. There are people that are designed for different things. Just because we don't understand, because we let our feelings get in the way, I mean, some people don't. And I accept that. And there's some things that I could turn off if I don't want to see them. So there's that. Peach says, I didn't have a choice. I saw bodies when I was a child. You have your own thing. Good to be an individual and stand out from the crowd. It's better. Well, and a lot of people, I think they are afraid. I know on here. I've been on YouTube, 5 years? And I know, like, there's times where you want to be a people pleaser because you're going to feel uncomfortable with the backlash and you'd rather just please people for whatever motive it is you have. But it's better to speak the truth and know that you got it out and that's how you feel. And you don't have to worry about lying and covering up who you are. If you're putting on a persona that you agree with only everything that everyone sees as right, and you disagree with everything that everyone sees as wrong, and you just go with the crowd, then to me, that's not interesting. And you are probably going to say things that I disagree with, and that's okay. Okay? But if you're going to be a dick about it, then I will too. You get mad when some people do not realize that everyone has freedom of speech. Boom. Ika worked in the ER. They view bodies with respect, but different at the same times. I would still say sorry if I bumped a body's head on the way to the refrigerator. That's sweet, by the way. But yeah, and you're comfortable doing that, and you're qualified to do that job. Somebody like me, I think too much. So I'm not designed for that. So we need people like you that are able to do that job. And all of you people who like true crime and want to know what happened, you realize that whether you're watching or you're paying the government or whatever for investigators or police force, whatever it is, detectives, you realize that they are taking photos of crime scenes, and they're the ones taking these photos. They're the ones investigating, and it's awesome that they do that. And we need people like that in order to get the information that we're all addicted to, and that would be true crime, because it's interesting and a good mystery. Somebody's got to do the job. So when somebody's reviewing crime scene photos or whatever it is, and they're talking about it, and you're like, you're disgusting, but they're just talking about the case. I mean, there's a lot worse. There's the people that took the photos and stuff. Is that bad? You're just talking about the mystery of something. Good morning. Here she goes. Van listens to true crime while going to bed, especially the updates on special cases, but some are just getting out of hand with conspiracy crap. Yes, they are. And see, look, Van, it puts her to sleep. Lady Gaga said she watches true crime. It gives her like comfort. It's like a comfort food for people. Is that bad? Everybody has that. Like I said the other day, I'm addicted to crab leg mukbangs, and people are like, that's gross. I'm like, it comforts me. I love it. It makes the food look so good. We're all into different stuff, but someone's got to do the job to provide us that information or that entertainment. So if you're against watching any sort of crime scene photo or whatever, then go fucking watch a mukbang. But that's a crime scene photo too, because there's a lot of dead fucking lobsters, dead crabs, and dead cows and shit that they're eating on the screen. So you might want to switch over to a PETA special or fucking Teletubbies. It's not bad, but if they dislike the creator, they'll twist it. Bingo. Ghost hunting comforts you? Yeah, it's fun. Lou Strange tries to see both sides with everything, and this is no different. But if I didn't know NC and went with what everyone is saying without checking myself, I would think she was evil. And that's a good thing that you think for yourself and look into things. But anyways, guys, I got to go because I talked a little bit too long. I got to go. But thanks for the good conversation. And it's so funny, like yesterday after my video, people would there was a few, not a lot, but a few like, I can't believe you support this. I'm unsubscribing or whatever. You're a terrible person. I used to like you. If you think I'm terrible just from having an opinion, well, then fuck off. It's going to be no loss. I'm not here to please you. And I'm not here. I don't owe you me aligning with everything you believe in. I have my own opinion. So if you're not going to be comfortable with that, then you're doing me a favor by fucking off. Fucking all the way off. Okay? Bob Ross, he can fuck off too. Just kidding. He kind of scared me as a kid. I don't know why. But good painter though. Wow. Check him out. Have a good day, Megan. You watch if you like, and you switch channels when you don't want to watch. Bingo! That is called self-control and self-awareness. Liz, I have a lock-in at the old Adelaide Ghoul every month, and the investigating comforts me too. Oh, you have a lock-in? Oh, a lock-in. People spend too much time online. Yeah, I've spent way too much time online running my mouth. But yes, have a good day, you guys. And thank you for the good conversation. And to the people that don't understand it, that's fine. And you're entitled to that. But don't come for me. No chance. No.